All right, let's talk about something that's a pretty big deal for a lot of people, your first time. It's one of those milestones that comes with a whole mix of feelings, excitement, curiosity, and yeah, a good amount of nerves. So our goal today is to cut through all the mystery and just get to the facts.
So, are you feeling excited? A little nervous? Maybe both at the same time? Let me just say that is completely 100% normal. In this explainer, we're going to walk through what actually happens so you can have clear, reassuring info and hopefully feel a lot more prepared and a lot less anxious.
And here's the first thing you really need to get. There is no single correct way for this to happen. Everybody's experience is different. There's no script you're supposed to follow. What really matters is that it's safe and that it feels right for you and your partner.
And that leads us to the most important rule of all. This is non-negotiable. It's not just about getting a yes. It's about enthusiastic consent. Both people have to be actively and happily agreeing. And remember, you or your partner can say stop or wait at any time for any reason. No questions asked.
Yeah, these questions, they can really get in your head, right? Am I going to know what to do? Am I going to look okay? Is it going to hurt? Is this person even the right person? These worries are so common. So let's tackle them by looking at what's actually going on in the body.
So, how does your body get ready? Let's pull back the curtain a bit and talk about the physical side of things, how the body naturally prepares for intercourse when it's aroused.
It's actually pretty amazing how the body's response works in parallel for both partners. It all kicks off with arousal. For female bodies, blood flow increases to the pelvic area, which tells the vaginal walls to start producing a natural lubricant. For male bodies, the nervous system helps blood rush into the penis, which causes an erection. And this, right here, is why foreplay, like kissing and touching, is so important. It gives the body the time it needs to get ready.
And that natural lubricant, it actually has a name, transidate. You can think of it like the body's own brilliant, built-in system to make things comfortable and reduce friction. It's a clear fluid that literally sweats through the vaginal walls during arousal. Pretty cool, right?
And this is exactly why that lubrication is so important. If you try to have intercourse without enough of it, it can be painful. There's even a medical term for it, dyspareunia. Nerves can sometimes get in the way of this natural process, which is why using an artificial lubricant is medically recommended, especially for the first time. It just helps make sure everything is comfortable. Okay, next up, we are diving into probably the single most misunderstood part of this whole topic. So let's consider this our official myth-busting section on the hymen. So what is it, actually? Well, the hymen is simply a thin piece of tissue right at the opening of the vagina. And the key thing to know is that it's not a solid seal. It's supposed to have openings in it so menstrual fluid can pass through. And its shape, its thickness, its flexibility, it's different for everyone.
Okay, if you remember one thing from this section, make it this. The idea that the hymen breaks is a total myth. It's an elastic tissue. During first-time intercourse, it usually stretches and might tear just a little bit. It doesn't shatter or disappear into thin air. That slight tearing is what can cause a little bit of bleeding or some minor pain, but it is not the big dramatic event that movies and myths make it out to be.
All right, we've covered the prep work, we've busted some major myths. So, what about the main event itself? Let's walk through the physical process in a few simple stages.
And get this, even before penetration, something else incredible is happening inside the body. The inner part of the vagina actually gets longer and wider. It's a process called tenting, and it shows you how the body is actively making space to make intercourse more comfortable. So we can pretty much think about the act itself in three basic stages. First, you have the moment of initial insertion. That moves into what's called the plateau phase, where rhythmic movement starts. And then, this can lead to an orgasm, which is that peak of physical pleasure for one or both partners. But the story doesn't just end there, does it? So what happens next? Let's talk about what to expect afterward, including the healing process. Knowing what to expect afterward can make a huge difference. For the first day or two, it's totally normal to have some slight soreness or a little spotting as that small tear in the hymen starts to heal. In fact, trying again the very next day might even hurt more because you'd basically be rubbing a fresh wound. The key is just to give your body a little bit of time.
And just to be super clear about this, the hymen doesn't just disappear. After it stretches and heals, it just stays there as small, painless little tags of tissue around the vaginal opening. It's a change, for sure, but a very subtle one.
You know, all of this can feel like this one huge final event that defines everything. But that's really not the right way to look at it at all. Because the truth is,
It's just the beginning. It's the start of a brand new story for you about intimacy, connection, and learning about your own body. It's not an ending, it's an opening chapter.
And that leaves us with one final thought. This experience is yours and yours alone. The focus shouldn't be on comparing it to anyone else's, but on what it means for you and your journey from here. So, if this is the start of a new story, what will you write in your next chapter? Thanks for joining us.